And Kenyans, let me remind you something. Mtu mwenye ana pretend akilia, huyo ni mtu mbaya sana. Rais wenu wakati tulikuwa tumebakia wiki moja tuende uchaguzi, alisimama kwa podium na akalia machozi. Wengi mlimhurumia na mkampea kazi ya kuwa rais wa Kenya. Lakini leo nyinyi ndio mnalia. Si afadhali hangelia, saa hizi nyinyi mfurahi. Lakini yeye alilia yake kaisha. Sasa nyinyi ndio mnalia leo hii. Wake up and smell the coffee, man. This man is bad for our country. It's either we stand up, join hands and fight him out of that house on the hill, or we all perish. Afadhali ufungwe mikono kila kitu, uinue kichwa ugonge nayo mtu hivi, hata kama umefungwa kila mahali, kuliko useme umewezekana na umewezwa. That means generation yako pia inawezwa. Once nyinyi wote mmewezwa, ni hivyo, mtakufa. Okay, my names are Mr. Robert Makoha Wangoho. Mimi ndiye bunge la mwananchi president Nakuru County. Number one, kuna issue ya bipartisan talks. My friends, my brothers and sisters, we are all anticipating to see a positive response from the team, to see a positive gesture from the teams, the two teams that were overseeing the bipartisan talks, or that were carrying out the bipartisan talks. Lakini sasa inashangaza sana, tena tunaona eti bipartisan talks zimemalizika, only for us to discover that these people never came into a consensus that will help the common man to retrieve his lost glory. Tunashangaa ya kwamba VAT na kitu ambacho kinaitwa high cost of living wamekataa kuzungumzia, ama wamezungumzia wakakosa kuelewana. Na mimi nasema hivi, tuliona President Ruto akisimama kahawa kanisani akiwa amevaa mshipi wa 455 Kenyan shillings, 1000 shillings, akiwaambia Wakenya ya kwamba whatever that the bipartisan talks teams have recommended is the one that he is going to implement. That is uncalled for. That is wrong. Uhuru Kenyatta never had the bipartisan talks before he came into a conclusion that this and that were going to be implemented, this and that were going to be dropped. Therefore, you have already wasted a whopping 300 million shillings on the allowances and the allowance packs that were being awarded to the two panels from the side of Kenya Kwanza government as well as the Azimio la Umoja government. That is to remind us that that amount of money will have done a very big job for our country called Kenya. There is a student somewhere who is lacking school fees to sit for the examination. There is that university student languishing in poverty somewhere. Is at home due to lack of fees. And yet hereby we have spent a whopping 250,000 shillings, and we have not seen the results from the same. That is the money that was used on allowances. Yet they come out to tell us that there is nothing positive out of the talks, that they are not going to implement the reduction of the high cost of living, that they are not going to implement the reduction of the VAT, the value added tax, from a whopping 16% to the initial rate which was at 8%. We cannot sit back and smile. We cannot sit back and relax. The country is obviously headed towards the wrong direction. And as the concerned citizens of this country, as the concerned human rights activists, as the concerned bunge la mwananchi president, I'm here to stand and state my side and opinion and say that we are going to march to the streets. We are no longer going to sit back and relax. See this heinous government oppressing Kenyans whose only crime was waking up very early in the morning, going to the streets, going to various primary schools to vote for one man, President William Samoei Ruto. Kaa chini na mwenzako, ongea na Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Maliza hii utata. Wakenya wanaumia alafu nyinyi mnaona kama ni mzaha. Utatumia milioni 300 kwa vikao na chai na fueling of cars ya Kalonzo Musyoka na Kimani Ichung'wah na Eugene Wamalwa na Aaron Cheriot na Opiyo Wandayi na Cecil Mbarire, then wamalize hizo pesa waweke kwa mfuko, mtuambie reduction of the high cost of living hamutaongelea, museme VAT hamutarudisha chini, museme creation of the office of the opposition leader and 2 deputies on the taxpayers expense are going to be created. Where on earth? Then you stand and tell us that you are going to reduce the expenditure on travels, on foreign travels, on your civil servants. How sure are we that you are really going to reduce that? And they have very big salaries in the history of Africa and the world at large. Kindly come out and tell Kenyans what they did to you, because they are dying. 2 days ago, we saw 4 middlemen killed and dumped in a wheat field in Eldoret town. What did those gentlemen do? Walifanya nini? Pengine walikuwa wanapita tu kwa hiyo shamba ya KDF. You shot those gentlemen who are helpless, who are possibly going to sleep hungry. Mtu akitrespass, you arrest that person, jail the person gets judged in the court of the law. But you decided to kill those hungry young men crossing the wheat farm in Eldoret. Where are we headed, William Samoei Ruto? This country is for many people. We have generations to take care of. We have children who are relying upon us as a country. Why have you left the country to sink into jeopardy? Why? El Nino is sweeping the people across the country. It's like you are happy when you see these Kenyans reducing by way of dying than helping them. El Nino money, mitigation money was to be given to the counties in advance. Hizi counties ndio ziweze kutengeneza, kusafisha mitaro. Hizi counties ndio ziweze kujenga madaraja. Hizi counties ndio ziweze kutengeneza gabions. Lakini wewe hii pesa ulikatalia. Dakika ya mwisho, as we are talking, over 70 people across the country have been swept by the floods. It's when you are coming out to bring an unnecessary debate, telling us that, oh, hii pesa hatukujua El Nino ilikuwa ikuje. Which kind of leader are you? Do you anticipate to get elected next general election that is going to take place? Why will you be elected back to the office? Today we are hearing that you have privatized almost that farms. KICC, KPLC, name them. Umeprivatize hizi farms muhimu. Na sisi tulisema, because you had tried to privatize Mumias Sugar Company as well as Webuye Paper Factory, tulikataa kwa sababu wafanyikazi wanafutwa kazi na huyu private individual ambaye anakuja kuinvest. And then watu mkijaribu kufuatilia, mnafutwa kazi, hakuna pension, hakuna nini. Watu wanapoteza kipato chao. Kwa sababu huyu mtu ambaye ni private individual, you cannot dictate him to retain those workers there. Then the moment these people of Western Kenya region went to court to sue this man called Rai, ulitishia Rai ukamwambia aende mbinguni ama aende kwao ama aende jela ama akule risasi. And today you privatize key sectors in Kenya to be run by the foreigners. Sasa wa Kenya muamuke ama mulale usiku. Privatization of these key farms in our country called Kenya will mean that they are going to be controlled by the foreigners. They have money to invest there. Chances are they are going to be sold completely and you will never benefit from the same. 200 billion shillings. Na juzi tumeona umepewa 1.8 trillion shillings. Unge relax. Utumie hiyo pesa yenye umepewa. And you have also borrowed whooping billions of shillings. You claim to come and do some developments. You have overtaxed Kenyans. Where is all this tax going, Mr. President William Samoei Ruto. Because you overtax Kenyans but you don't show them what you are spending with the money that you are overtaxing them. You wake up one morning, you tell us that you are going to make sure that for someone who has lost an ID, the person is going to spend 2,000 shillings. For this first time person who has reached or attained an age of 18 years old, this person requires to carry 1,000 shillings to get a national ID. This is a very crucial and important document that a person uses almost in each and every office that the person visits, be it the bank, be it the police station, be it the hospital, because you cannot access NHIF and SSF without the ID card. Then this is the document that you are telling Kenyans that they must carry 2,000 shillings. A Kenyan who is sleeping hungry, a Kenyan who has not afforded school fees for the only one kid that he has, a Kenyan who has slept with a roaring stomach as if it is full of lions. Yet you come out, Mr. President, to tell us that you are privatizing the 20 important farms in our country called Kenya. You come out, Mr. President, to say that by not scrapping the housing levy, by not lowering the high cost of living, by not reducing VAT from 16 to 80%, you say that the recommendations are up to standard and they are practical for implementation, and you promise in the church, on the podium of the church, before the multitudes, that you wanna implement them because they are good for the country. Who told you that? Since you started deducting the housing levy, Kenyans are in poverty. They can no longer afford the livelihoods that they were affording earlier on. You came in with the use of NSSF, NHIF. You removed all the reliefs that the previous government had placed there. Are you happy that Kenyans are dying because they cannot afford some healthcare system services? Are you happy now that hundreds of thousands of our girls are now pregnant because they cannot afford fees to go sit for the exams in school? Are you happy now that our elderly parents no longer receive the stipends from the government, whatever they used to get from the previous government of Uhuru Kenyatta? Are you happy that our 6 million youth of this country who are benefiting from the jobs that were created by one Uhuru Kenyatta, termed as kazi mtaani, today the same youth have turned into thugs that are stabbing their mothers and their fathers when they come from the job, wanatoka hustle saa 4 ya usiku, vijana wanawapiga ngeta, wanawadunga visu, kwa sababu wale vijana walikuwa busy. Mtu alikuwa anafanya kazi, anarudi nyumbani amechoka, analala. Mtu alikuwa anafanya kazi, anarudi nyumbani anasema next week nitapata changu, nimefagia mtaro, nimefanya mjengo mahali. Huyo mtu alikuwa anatulia, saa hizi hana kazi, anafikiria kunyang'anya na kupiga mtu ghetto. I'm very sure you are happy. You flaunt a belt at a cost of 455,000. Mshipi imetengenezwa na ngozi ya mamba. Your CS Murkomen flaunts shoes, Gucci shoes, that go as low as 166,000 Kenyan shillings. Yet a Kenyan somewhere can never afford school fees and 2 meals in a day. Is that what the government and the people gave you the job to do for them? Is that why God gave you the job? And Kenyans, let me remind you something. Mtu mwenye ana pretend akilia, huyo ni mtu mbaya sana. Rais wenu wakati tulikuwa tumebakia wiki moja tuende uchaguzi, alisimama kwa podium na akalia machozi. Wengi mlimhurumia na mkampea kazi ya kuwa rais wa Kenya. Lakini leo nyinyi ndio mnalia. Si afadhali hangelia, saa hizi nyinyi mfurahi. Lakini yeye alilia, yake ikaisha. Sasa nyinyi ndio mnalia leo hii. Wake up and smell the coffee, man. This man is bad for our country. It's either we stand up, join hands and fight him out of that house on the hill, or we all perish. Afadhali ufungwe mikono, kila kitu, uinue kichwa ugonge nayo mtu hivi, hata kama umefungwa kila mahali, kuliko useme umewezekana na umewezwa. That means generation yako pia inawezwa. Once nyinyi wote mumewezwa, ni hivyo, mtakufa, njaa itawaua. Therefore, as the president of Bunge la Mwananchi Nakuru County, today I'm telling people that you either wake up. Even those of you who are claiming that maandamano was destroying your businesses, high time you stood up, you fought for yourselves, or else you are going to perish. Simameni, mshikane mikono, muende kwa streets. You don't have to destroy any property, but make sure you stand for your rights, because the sovereign power is in the hands of the people, and we are the people. That is Article 1 of the draft constitution of Kenya. Article that 6, that 7, and that 1, and that 3 allows us to assemble, to picket, and freedom to express yourself freely. And therefore, that is to say, none, even the president himself, can stop us from demonstrating what is good for the future generation and the current generation of the Kenyan people. I don't have much to add for today. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. May God bless Kenya. May God remove Kenya from the hands of these people who do not care about the tomorrow of others. May God elevate us from this poverty that is looking at us to finish us. Because God created us because we were people. He wanted us to look like Him. We were created in the image and likeness of God. I fail to understand why a leader can come to power and try to make others suffer. How can a mama who is lacking a plate of food benefit from the construction of a superhighway in the city? How does that person lacking food benefit from the construction of that? For one, she doesn't have a car. Secondly, if she's not careful on that road, she's likely to be knocked down by the same of a speeding car. Therefore, you cannot oppress this person down here to make sure that a rich man flies or drives his expensive Rolls Royce on the superhighway in Nairobi. Come out, let's hold our hands and fight this government for the betterment of tomorrow. This is not a Kenya for the cowards. The earlier, the better. Thank you very much. My names are Mr. Robert Makoha, Bunge la Mwananchi president, human rights fighter, and a person who always keeps the leaders into accountability. Thank you.